All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Music Village. And you know, folks, before we do anything crazy on this show for this week, we would like to say to each and every last one of you out there, not only happy Thanksgiving like we said for Tuesday night special, but also a very big thank you to each and every last one of you out there giving us those beautiful well wishes for our birthday this past week. And the funniest one we've gotten thus far, and Maestro said he's trying to pull it up on the screen here. Let's see. Well, besides my cousin saying, I didn't cheat in Uno, and by the way, we didn't get a chance to play them in Uno for Thanksgiving this year because we arrived a little bit late, and not to mention got lost in the woods this year trying to get to my cousin's house. Not something I'm proud to admit, but at the same time, it was pretty funny. You know, for a couple of people who were watching me saying, "Hey, buddy, you're taking the wrong turn. This one here." And the only reason that happened, folks, is because my GPS went out and I completely missed the turn by at least a good mile. Or what's a mile and a half? Either way, still embarrassing. But besides all of that, since Maestro pulled up the funny comment, and it comes from Roy Garrett, and thank you once again for the well wishes, man. He said, "Happy birthday, sir," or old man, in my case. And I would respond back by telling him, yeah, I can already see the gray hairs coming in after that comment. But in all seriousness, thank you very much, and I appreciate each and every last one of you for saying all those well wishes and happy birthdays. And trust me, if I could respond back to each and every one of you, which we really did try, I would say to all of you, thank you. Hopefully all is well in your neck of the woods. And here's hoping by next year, for the next birthday I have, I can go celebrate it with each and every one of you by hosting some form of late night talk show or some form of stand-up thing like I did about 3 years back. Yeah, hard to believe it's been well over 3 years since the last time we hosted one of those events. Looking forward to doing it again. I think that's my only wish for my birthday that we have for this year. That, and I do believe to meet Scott Clark from Eyewitness News. That's still on my list of things to do. And for those who are wondering out there, after we cut off the microphone and just wrapped everything up, Maestro brought in a giant cake, some ice cream, some root beer, and we celebrated by talking about old school video game stories we had from the past 6 years we've been doing them. Had a lot of laughs, especially for the game day one that he keeps laughing at right now and almost fell out of his chair laughing about too. I'm never gonna live that down, am I? No? Yeah, I got a feeling. But outside of all of that, folks, and we might as well live up to the title on the top of the screen here, we have a Black Friday report for this year. Granted, it wasn't as spectacular as I thought it was gonna be, but nevertheless, we are live with Dan the Weatherman Stu as he tells us what's going on this year for the Black Friday report. Dan the Weatherman Stu, microphone is all yours, or more or less, switch the feed on over to Dan the Weatherman Stu, who's live from some faraway mall in South Jersey. What are you doing in South Jersey? Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, it's your boy from Chicago, Illinois, Dan the Weatherman Stu, here to bring you the Black Friday report for this year. And the reason why I'm all the way in South Jersey, because that's the only place that's having sales in the afternoon. Well, since you're all the way down there, is there any good news for Black Friday for this year? Any good sales, discount on television sets, electronics, or anything that you can report on? Well, DJ Smokey, only thing I can report on is there was 4 people fighting over a giant oversized cream TV. Or was it over ice cream? I got a feeling it was over a television set, because if there was 4 people fighting over ice cream, then it's gonna end up like that incident, 3 summers ago where that kid was fighting over an ice cream cone? It ended peacefully, but nevertheless, what else is going on? Well, DJ Smokey, that was it for this year. Really? We had this whole thing set up throughout the entire month, and that's all we got? Well, I expected as much with the whole pandemic going on. So, with that being said, folks, the only other thing we were able to do for this year for Thanksgiving to, tie this all in was to actually play a couple of games with my family members, my cousins, and even head on over there to listen to a whole bunch of classic stories, which is always a great thing to do, which I was wearing a mask the whole entire time, just in case any of you out there was wondering, so I could stay safe. That's just to reassure anybody at home. And before we forget, and thank you for reminding me, Maestro, to wrap things up for the Thanksgiving party for this year over my cousin's house, they would wrap things up with Christmas music. Just like any classic Thanksgiving party I would go to, Christmas music would wrap everything up, even though it is November. I kept telling them that, but they said, "Oh, you're being a hater and you're being a Scrooge." In November? I must got things mixed up in my brain when apparently the day after Thanksgiving, Santa Claus rolls in and takes everything over. But before I go into any form of rant for that, folks, I think it's time for us to go right back into this music and wrap up this year's Black Friday report on a high note by saying to everybody out there, stay safe, be careful, and may the best deal win. That's the best line we got? Yeah, I think it is. And I guess with that said, folks, I think it's time for us to really head back into this music, and we'll be back with more Music Village right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.